No, I'm not. I'm not. This is just a costume. This is
You're on the ceiling.
You know, I just went to the gym every day. That was kind of my thing. I didn't do anything specific. I just did lots of sit-ups. That was kind of
no,
it.
like spider things.
I did Spider-Man push-ups, which is where you're on the floor like this and you do a push-up and you bring one leg to your knee. That's called a Spider-Man push-up. I'm really good at them.
All right, let's move.
my best mate and I, we trained together, and we just went to the gym every day, essentially. We just sort of picked out a routine of what we wanted to do, and we just went to the gym every morning for about an hour and a bit, and yeah, that was kind of it, and we just sort of stuck with it. Yeah. I suggested to Marvel that I should go to a high school undercover. Right. And it was completely a joke, and Marvel took it completely seriously. I guess they didn't get my British sarcasm.
Yeah, they do that.
And yeah, so the next thing I know, I was like, had a backpack with a pencil case on my way to Bronx School of Science.
Oh, boy.
Well, I had one funny experience. I was sat at the back of a classroom next to quite a pretty girl, and eventually she's like, so, dude, what's your deal, man? I was like, well, do you want to know my secret? She's like, okay. I was like, I'm actually Spider-Man. She's like, dude, you're nuts, bro. You're nuts. I was like, no, seriously, I'm actually an actor, I'm British, and I'm playing Spider-Man, and she didn't believe me.
Of course she didn't believe me. That's a ridiculous story.
I know.
Yes. Honestly, did you actually diet, like, working out? Or were you just, like, eating and just, like...
Yeah, I'm lucky that I was 20 when I was doing the movie. I ate, you know, healthy food, but a lot of food. But also a lot of chicken burgers. Yeah. That was my thing in Atlanta. But I just made sure I went to the gym every day. Yeah. And did sit-ups. Sit-ups was the thing.
My entire life for this.
You're jacked.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Is this a new thing? Did you get this just for the movie? Have you always been this built?
I kind of was born just like that. just abbed out.
I think there is a slight body dysmorphia that you get, you know, after training so hard, and you'll never be perfect. You know, I think you'll never be perfect and satisfied in your own mind, because you're always going to point out something personally that you want to fix or something you want to improve. So I definitely had. Yes, for sure. Definitely had body dysmorphia after that, but you know, it's so hard to walk around in that shape. You know, to kind of keep that with the diet and real life and traveling, it's just so hard to keep up with that.
This is the biggest I've ever been. I'm about like 182. I think I'm gonna gain like maybe another 5 or 6 pounds, but just the diet. You know, getting in shape is like 80% diet. So I eat, you know, every 2 to 3 hours, about 6 or 7 times a day, depending on how late I'm up. I've spent a lot of days indoors, you know, just working out, going to sleep, just staying to myself and stuff like that. But that's the work that you have to put in to kind of get the results that you want.
And I saw yesterday the shirt that you were wearing. It was kind of tight.
I started, you know, the trick is you just buy everything is one size smaller, you know, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Never boxed before. This is my first time getting a full education on boxing. But, you know, Ryan and Sly, they put me around the best boxing minds possible, and I just tried to soak up as much as I could.
And do you still do it now after the movie's done, or no?
Yeah, I'm kind of in a routine. I'm hooked. Like, boxing is one of those things. It gets you in great shape. You're mentally focused and disciplined, and I just like it, you know.
Like, literally, you know, brown rice, grilled chicken, broccoli, a gallon and a half of water a day, and working out 2 to 3 times a day, 6 days a week for about a year and a half. And then your body will change. It will definitely change.
I feel like I'm sitting across from an athlete right now. Like, you still have the size on you.
Yeah, a little bit. I tried to keep it. I'm not that. You know what I'm saying?
You're not,
I'm not
it looks
that.
like it.
Yeah, but it's Photoshop, man. No, No, but I tried to keep it. Honestly, once you get over the hill, you know, and you did 10, 11 months of training, you don't want to go back because you know how hard it was to get there. So I want to stay a month or two out.
But aren't you like, oh, I just want to eat a pizza?
No, this is true, but then I found out you can't eat that pizza. As long as you have like maybe 3 or 4 other meals that's super clean, you can have that cheat meal. And I think that's the misconception sometimes of diets and being healthy, that you can eat what you want, just within moderation.
Basically, it doesn't matter what movie you do, you're just in good shape all the time.
I'm just trying to stay in shape for as long as I can, you know, and to get paid to do it, that why not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, did you know, how much in advance before Black Panther did you know that, and did they ask you to get in that kind of shape?
I was on the press tour for Creed.
So, and then you just had to eat cleanly, and then you had to like how many hours a day did you work out?
We didn't really go by hours, but like sessions. So I would work out 2 to 3 times a day, eat 6 times a day.
What are you doing next?
Creed 2.
You're doing Creed 2?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, that's great.
So in the process of getting back in shape and getting that together, so we started shooting that in April.
So is this how you normally look?
More or less.
It's a good look.
The workout was probably more difficult than the actual filming. It was my body doesn't sit naturally at that weight, you know, so I was consuming many calories and protein, you know, being the main one, and working out 6-7 days a week. It was funny because I got the part and immediately started looking at the comic books, and the guy's, you know, 500 pounds or something and looks like Schwarzenegger, and I thought, okay, I'm not going to get to that, so, you know, but I have to get bigger, and so it became about eating a lot and training a lot, and they kept saying, yeah, just get as big as you can, big as you can. And then I came back just before Christmas, just before we started the movie, and had a final sort of camera test, and put the costume on, and within a couple of minutes, my hands started going numb. And
what?
And everyone was like, yeah, that's not cool. And I started getting pins and needles, and you know, you'd touch the skin and the blood wouldn't return to that area so quick. And I thought, okay, it doesn't fit. And so we had to sort of...
What was it made of? Like that was
well, it was all sorts of sort of leather and chainmail, sort of armor and what have you. But it was the measurements they'd taken 3 months ago were no longer the measurements I was fitting. So there were some alterations, and then also I was just too thick anyway. You know, it was sort of basically Ken said, you know, it's good, you've got the size there, and let's just sort of try and pull it back just a little bit, because it's otherwise it's too sort of blocky. You know?
right. So so you just stopped eating so much, working out?
So much, and then sort of trained. I changed my programs from sort of you know, heavy weightlifting to more sort of cardio, sort of, you know, CrossFit style thing. So
look at you, still all muscly and everything.
we have to shoot the really skinny stuff where we drop down to 500, 600, 700 calories a day for a good 3 or 4 weeks.
You're on like some crazy diet right now, I heard, because of this movie that you're shooting.
A couple of small salads, a couple of small pieces of protein, and that's kind of it. And you go to bed hungry, and then you have a fasting period of like 15 hours. Like you stop eating completely, and then you have little meals through the day.
You should be skinny for the next Thor movie, like a really, like scrawny and starved Thor.
I should, you know, it might be a character piece, wouldn't it? It'd be,
speaking
of
depressed,
and you know.
What was it like being in the gym with someone like Chris Hemsworth?
Embarrassing.
Yeah, he can lift heavy things.
He certainly can. It's quite shocking when you meet him. I didn't realize how large he is. Such a
he's a big guy.
Now, people who see this film, who have just come out of seeing In the Heart of the Sea, are going to be very surprised by your body. This is actually quite small for you right now. So I'm curious, is it becoming harder for you to go back and forth between bigger and smaller? And would you lose that kind of weight again for a role?
I don't think I'd lose it again, no, because it's just too exhausting, you know, and I don't know, there are smarter ways of doing it now, I think, camera, you know, sort of trickery and so on, but I don't mind varying to going up to Thor weight and then going back down to my normal body weight. It's easier to put it on than it is to take it off. It gets harder each time. You sort of, once you kind of put it on, that mass, your body's like, nah, it's staying here, so, you know, and that's not very much fun to not eat.
We're the same, you and I. Just a couple of hot-headed fools.
Yeah, same. Hulk like fire, Thor like water.
Well, kind of both like fire.
But Hulk like raging fire, Thor like smoldering fire.
And then Taika, our director, came up to me and said, "Oh, I think we need a shut-off scene. We need," his exact words were, "We need bums on seats." And I was like, "I'm not sure it's going to sell the tickets." And he said, "It is. Get your shirt off." So we did it, and yeah, to get back into the program.
What's the rigorous that you're going through? Is it like, or is it weights only? Are you running? Or what kind of training is it?
There's a little bit of weights and training. It's a lot more sort of functional movement now.
Okay.
Like, I'd rather sort of feel good than look that extra bit, you know?
We change the appetite?
Yeah, I think I changed less kind of protein than the first film. You know, the first film was all about like animal protein, like as much as we could get in. And whereas then I tried to lose the weight in other films, and it was really difficult.
It's hard to get that off.
Yeah, and so I thought, actually, I don't need to eat that much, and so kind of ate less on this film. And I'm probably a little smaller, but it's
Lean.
a little
Little
smaller.
lean.
Every time you come here,
Mm-hmm.
you're in better and better shape.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. I'm here. This
The
is a
special
breaking
effects
news.
get better on
Breaking
this show.
news. How many hours a day would you say you spend in a gym, or is it just natural?
Oh, look, a bit of it's from my parents, obviously. You know, it sort of helps. But yeah, an hour, sometimes two. But I've got 3 kids. They keep me busier and
Right.
burn more calories chasing them and trying to locate each of them.
For a while, just topless, looking for your shirt.
Looking for my shirt?
Yeah. No? Were you reluctant at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the first film, the first Thor, Kenneth Branagh, our director, came up to me and said, you know, do you want to do, I'm thinking of doing the shirt off scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, Ken, you told me to start training 8 months ago. You know, I'm like in peak condition. I'll never be like this again. Like, let's get the shirt off, let's go.
Can't wait.
So we did the scene, it was cool. And then, you know, what, 5 films later, there was no shirt off scene in the movie, and I was like, oh, thank God. And then Taika, midway through shooting, came up and said, I think we need to put some bums on seats. I think we need to get the shirt off. And I was like, no, they don't want to see that. No one cares. He's
No
like,
one.
"Nah, they do. I was like, no. And he goes, let's just shoot it. And if
see
it's
what happens.
gratuitous, you know, we'll take it out. So we shot it, and yeah, it was like, I mean, I've just sort of been training for that period, but then it was like a few weeks of no ice cream, no pizza, that kind of deal.
Is it a major sacrifice for you? Are you like a sweets kind of guy? You like a
I am.
junk
I have a
food
very
kind of
sweet tooth.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I like my ice cream, chocolate. I love my pizza. I mean, who doesn't? Come on.
I mean,
come on.
The things in
Who
life.
likes eating chicken and brown rice and broccoli?
It's like he was just here.
I mean,
Taika said that very same thing.
Did he?
He was like, what would be the point in eating boiled chicken?
Well, we
and
didn't have
broccoli?
to. I mean, why is that in our genetic makeup that we have, like, why can't we enjoy the things we need?
Oh, I was going to use this these few minutes to get some self-help. How do I do it? What should I do?
It's all special effects, makeup. Oh, look, you know, I've put a lot of hours in the gym, training and eating a particular sort of diet and healthy sort of lifestyle. I think which is it. But yeah, I think it's just there's no short secret recipe for it. You know, you just have to put in the hours, put in the work.
How many hours are we talking? Are we twice a day? What do you?
Yeah, sometimes. 5 days a week, you know. It's important to also have the rest, the right amount of rest. And I have kids now, so that becomes a little more tricky to navigate. But yeah, it's about an hour to 2 hours sometimes a day.
What's more important, the diet or training?
I'd probably almost say diet, to be honest. If you're talking about just general health and weight loss and staying lean, if I'm not training that much but my diet's spot on, I'll stay in a good zone. You know, I find if you want to put on the muscle, more muscle mass, you definitely have to eat higher having a higher calorie intake and more protein. And
so you're telling me I have to live off chicken and broccoli? And
sometimes. It's funny this time around though, I've actually played around with less animal proteins and tried to have inject a bit of vegan sort of cooking into the program, just to sort of give my body a break from how much protein I had been eating, animal protein from putting on the muscle. And I certainly felt better, you know, having a bit more of a balance. They're getting a lot more fibre and healthy vegetables and fruit and stuff.
But does it get easier to build up? I mean, you've done it a few times now, and you stay in shape between, I guess, you surfing and all that, right?
Yeah, I think that's the trick, is to not go too far off the path when I'm not shooting. But your body definitely, you know, the muscle memory is a huge help, and it definitely sort of comes back easier, and then you also know your program inside out. So,
do you sort of enjoy it, or do you get grumpy when you have to build up?
No, I enjoy it. I enjoy the training. I enjoy what I feel after training, you know, the release of endorphins, and it gives me a greater sense of energy and so on. But yeah, there's certainly times at the end of the day or early mornings when it's the last thing I feel like doing. But as I said, I always remind myself how I feel after.
Really? Hitting the machine with the words that come out of it. Oh, this is knowledge. Knowledge is power. No, it's not. Knowledge is not power. That's power. The brain is a muscle, and that's a muscle, and that's a muscle. They are all muscles. This is all muscle. So I am covered in brains, and I have more brains than you.
It's about 4,000 calories a day, maybe 4.5 as I'm bulking up, and then it drops down as I'm leaning up. Drops down to about 3,500 calories. Not the fun calories. This is the chicken, fish, maybe steak, always protein 6 times a day. Protein, steamed vegetables, and occasionally some brown rice or something like that. Protein shakes. And just like that, no alcohol, no sugar, pretty much nothing that's fun.
Well, basically train for 3 hours a day and eat
a lot of protein.
A lot of food, and I actually got the diet from Dwayne, The Rock Johnson, who's a mate of mine. And every day what I do is I eat for 8 hours and I fast for 16. And so from about 10 in the morning till 6, for this I eat way too much and then nothing after that.
Oh, that's all CGI. No, I'm kidding.
I wish.
Well, I mean,
should.
it's an all-day thing. It's really
It's an all-year thing. I probably spent 18 months doing it, really. And we wrapped the film, and I went straight back into training. Deb's like, "You're obsessed. you finished the film. I said, yeah, but I might need to do it again, Deb. She goes, no, you're obsessed. Well, I finally had to give up that idea that you can do it all in an hour and a quarter a day, and you can't. So eating is the key. 70% is eating. That's a good way to do it. But for me, I just lose too much size doing CrossFit. So I do 2 hours in the morning, an hour of cardio, hour of weights, and then I do a weights cardio mix in the afternoon. More like a CrossFit in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But I have to do some heavy weights and all the things you don't want to do, like the rowing machine, like the front squats, like the deadlifting, all that stuff.
What was the most brutal day?
There's a scene in the hallway where Shingen, or played by Hiro, and I have this fight. And I have my shirt off in that scene, so it's a key sort of moment physically. I had to be in peak condition for that. And I went on a water dehydration diet so that I could be as ripped and cut as possible for that. So for 24, 30 hours, you don't drink any liquids. So I had a massive headache. I trained really hard that morning, and you start cramping up. And then we were doing this fight I had the real claws on, he had the sword, and it was very precise. Now, Hiro is done 80 films, and he's a genius. And he can pull a sword like that far from you every time. Me? Not. I didn't tell him this, but I am very clumsy. I've stabbed more than one person playing this part. And he was very, very trusting of me. But I was headachy, a little bit faint, and doing that fight sequence. By far the toughest day of all. I was glad to walk away from that one.
I mean, you've done this over and over again, but I mean, is it safe to say this is the furthest you've pushed yourself physically?
Yeah. Tom Hooper, first day rehearsal, said, I need you, actually before then, he said, I need you unrecognizable. He said, if people recognize you, I want them to think you're sick in real life, so I do my best.
Is it true you deprived yourself of water for 36 hours?
Yeah, my trainer on this movie, incredible guy David Kingsbury, has at one point in his life was a bodybuilder, and he knew of this water restriction thing, which is what bodybuilders do before a show, and you can lose up to 10 pounds of body weight, and right off the surface, do not do this at home, trust me. And so it really sinks in your chest. I was already quite skinny, but it makes it quite drastic. Your eyes get sunken. I look like hell, basically. And trust me, the headache after about 20 hours is something I don't want to repeat.
I can imagine. But then you get to put the weight back on. That's been quite nice.
That was more fun. But you know, it was a tough job. Each day was about 3 hours in the gym. It was pretty intense.
Cut. It's over.
Burger,
What kind?
fries.
Yeah.
A burger with everything.
Everything
burger with
on it.
Oh yeah, no, and I spent about 3 hours choosing the ingredients of that burger. Fries, which were disappointing. I was disappointed with it. You know, when you haven't had fries for months, you want the greatest fries ever. Dwayne Johnson gave me his diet.
I heard.
And he said, look, it's good to cheat occasionally. So I took a photo of it, literally with me, with this double patty burger like this. I said, cheat day, and he texted me back, amateur. Well, no, I had a couple of cheats during, because I went to Japan, and had to have some sushi.
Yeah.
Some incredible sushi.
Yeah, this is sushi guy.
But for me, the cheats I generally really want, burgers, fries, chocolate shake, lasagna, cereal at 10 o'clock at night, that kind of stuff. Wow. That's the sort of stuff I like.
I found that if I don't have something scheduled, I literally will find a way to not do it.
Well, if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't go. But you got to remember, on May 28th, when the movie comes out, I'm on a 40-foot screen, and people are, you know, and then I'm like, I really should have gone. So it's fear. It's total fear.
Have you ever seen yourself?
A little bit of, yeah. And here's the deal. You can do whatever you want on May 21, but I'm taking my clothes off. 2 training sessions a day, about 2.5 hours, 245, 6,000 calories a day, just going lean, mean, heavy protein. Basically, I got it all from The Rock. I just rang him and just say, man, I need some secrets. He goes, no problem, hang on a sec, because someone was knocking on his trailer door. And I can hear this, he goes, hey, I know you need me on set, but you can tell him I'm talking to Wolverine, all right? So they're just gonna have to wait. I was like, yes. It was written in the script, Wolverine gets out wearing boxer shorts. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Wolverine and boxer shorts does not go together. They said it could be briefs. I said that's even worse. If Wolverine's in bed with a girl, he's getting out Commando. That's all I'm saying.
Wife and kids, what do they think of the Wolverine physique?
You know, Deb will tell you that she doesn't like it. She prefers me chubby because it makes her look better. But I don't know. I met her on a prison drama where I was pretty jacked in that, and I dare say we wouldn't be together if I hadn't met her with that body.
So, Deb, tell me this. I mean, really,
Those are these. He told me that this was not retouched.
He looks like he's photoshopped in the flesh. I say it's ridiculous. You look photoshopped.
So you
no one is more disciplined though. He works really hard at it, and it is no fun for the family because we can never go out to eat. It's like he's always having another cow or a chicken or a broccoli.
Yeah. Still going to do the skinny fat version of Wolverine because my natural body is skinny fat. And when I start to go off this diet and I get just skinny legs, skinny arms, just a little paunch, that's when I want to do Wolverine with a cigar, the whole thing. The very first movie, I had no idea. I was basically a skinny guy. I was doing Oklahoma here in London. I got the part. I went. And I had 3 weeks, and I was like, oh, cool, 3 weeks, I'll be able to turn into Wolverine. Literally, they had to shoot. If you watch X-Men 1, the very first scene I shot is me coming down in the mansion downstairs, down that blue hallway, running down with my shirt off, and they had to shoot around me because it's just really not good. And so they shot the very first scene at the very end 4 months later because it took me that long. Yeah. So for this one, I rang Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and I had to do Les Mis, and I lost some weight for that. And I said, "What do I have to do?" And he said, "You got to have minimum 6 months." And actually, I really had some time before Les Mis, so I started the training probably a year out. So I eat 6,000 calories a day. I train for about 3 hours a day in the gym.
Every day. Do you have a
I
day
train
off?
every day, but I don't do weights every day. I do weights like 5 days a week.
Right, so it's not just free weights. You'll do machine workouts as well, do you?
No, pretty much free weights.
Free weights for the way.
Yeah, the free weights are much better to stay injury free.
Right.
Yeah. I seem to get injuries more when I'm on the machines, but you know the key things are like deadlifts and squats and obviously bench press and one arm rows, military press, things like that.
Wow. For Wolverine, did you do 3 hours a day?
3.
3 hours a day.
So 2 hours in the morning and about 45 minutes in the afternoon.
Okay. And what were you eating?
It's very time consuming.
What do you? Is this where you get to eat everything? You have to eat 6,000
Yeah.
calories a day.
Yes.
I read that in the Hollywood Reporter.
This is I literally rang Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. I said, "Man, I've seen you in some movies." I said, "What's going on? What do I do?" And he went through the diet, and it was 6,000 calories, eating every 2 hours,
But you're
which
not, like,
basically,
eating this,
unfortunately,
right?
no.
No, you're not eating that.
It'd
You're
be
not-
easy to get 6,000 of these.
Yes, yeah.
That's one nachos and a pizza, but no, it's a meal would look like 2 chicken breasts, steamed broccoli,
So it's still
beans,
lean stuff.
and maybe some carbs. But as you get down to those kind of shots, that's when it becomes very scientific. That's when you go slightly less on no carbs. I even do a thing called water dehydration, which is...
Which you did for Les Mis, did you not?
Yeah, I did that
for the
too.
opening scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets a little obsessive. I'm someone who likes routine and discipline.
I always say when I lift something heavy, I remember that is Wolverine. The little bit where you go, I want to drop it, and then you go, no way. That little bit is Wolverine.
For about 3 months, we trained in Boston, and it was a couple hours a day, and it was brutal. The tricky part was eating.
You have to eat lots?
Just eating everything all the time.
That sounds awful.
See, you'd think it sounds nice, but it's not just like cheeseburgers. I mean, you have to eat like these just bland, naked pieces of chicken and rice, and it's not that appetizing.
Right.
And you're just so full. It's a pretty uncomfortable feeling.
Well, it paid off. You looked amazing.
Talk about 2 very important co-stars. Your biceps. They make an they make an appearance. What is?
All right, that was good. That was funny. That was good.
Every time you're about to shoot, are you just like pumping before you roll?
That day we were. You know, I'm not gonna pretend I wasn't. Yeah. The day we did the helicopter thing. You know,
Yeah.
you're in a t-shirt. You know, you want to look good. I'm not gonna try and pretend that I just walk around like that. Yeah, you prepare.
Is there a lot of pressure to keep up?
Yeah.
The answer is yes. Yes. Yeah, you want to make sure you look the role, and you want to make sure that, you know, it's tough reading those comic books because in the comic books he's like 6'4", 240 or something. He's a huge animal. I'm nowhere near that, so, you know, you want to make sure that you do your best to at least get close to the idea that some of these comic book fans have in their head.
You know, I'm pretty lucky in the sense that my metabolism is pretty quick. Food isn't always the biggest conflict for me. I feel like, you know, for me to get in shape, I just got to spend time in the gym. I don't have to be as strict with the diet as I do needing to be strict with the hours spent working out. You know, obviously, you want to look, you know,
Pump the guns.
I want to look big. So every time they yelled cut, I'd run off set, and they brought some weights on the set for me. So every time we had a break in filming, I would run off and just start lifting weights. But as a result, you know, you're working out pretty much the entire day for multiple days. So by the end of the sequence, I was exhausted.
There's one particular scene, and we can all relate to it from the film, where you're actually holding on to a helicopter. And holding on to a building as well.
We all get that. We've all had those days.
We've all been there, I know, a million times.
Totally.
And was it in your contract where you like slow zoom on the biceps in that?
I demanded it.
Demanded it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
rightly so.
I wanted to have my shirt off, and they were like, Chris, keep your shirt on. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I said, are you sure?
Not
but,
the story.
You know, they won, whatever.
I hate treadmills. So, for the most part, a lot of my buddies and I would play sports. You know, we do a lot of basketball, touch football, pick up soccer and shit like that. As far as putting on muscle, I just go to the gym and I do real basic weight stuff, you know, picking weights up and putting them down. I'm not like, you know, there's no like P90X or some clever shit.
But when you're on the set 12, 14 plus hours a day, how are you able to then sleep and then also make time for the gym?
This is what happens.
Okay.
You get yourself as big as you can, and then as you're shooting, you slowly get smaller. It's just what happens. Throughout the movie, you just slowly lose your mass. So you need to come to set as big as you can possibly get yourself in anticipation of exhaustion.